Marcus Jacobs, the Borough Manager of Westerville.
Summer McKee, Executive Director of the COG, and Erie County Supervisor.
Jack Lee, Summit Supervisor.
Dave Robinson, EMTA.
Rory Davis, Summit Supervisor.
Jackie Spry, City of Erie.
Christopher Friday, Erie County Authority.
Okay, bounce online there. You want to follow them out, maybe?
So we'll just go in order. So Emily, if you want to start with introduction.
Hi, I'm Emily Alloys with PennDOT District 1. I'm a transportation planner.
And then Anna. We'll just go down to Emerson, can you introduce yourself next?
Was that me?
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, Emerson Bannon-Kuchary, Parks, Recreation, and Trails Coordinator with Erie County Planning, and then I also work with the Multimodal Subcommittee and Multimodal Activities under the TAC for the MPO.
Thank you. And then Charity.
Hi, I'm Charity Stover. I work for Urban Engineers, and I'm also part of the engineering team for Fairview Township. And yeah, that's about it.
And then Julia. And we'll move on to Troy then. Can you introduce yourself, please?
Hi, this is Troy Seifert with PennDOT Municipal Services.
You. And then I believe it's Darren. Can you introduce yourself?
Hey, good morning. This is Darren Heddick. I'm with a consulting firm called Greenman Peterson, GPI, and we're interested in transportation projects.
So then Dave.
Dave Tamulonis, City of Erie Director of Grants.
Thank you. And then Fairview Township.
Brandon with Fairview Township.
And then we have Chris Broner. You can introduce yourself next, please.
Morning, Chris Broner. I'm Director of Administration for Erie County. It's good to see everybody.
And then Julia did put in the chat that they are having trouble with their microphones. So, but Julia and Susan and Brandon from PennDOT Central 1 are online. Jeff Gibbons, could you go next and introduce yourself, please?
Jeff Gibbons, Assistant Director of Public Works, City of Erie.
Thank you. And then Justin Smith.
Good morning, Justin Smith with the Markowski Engineering Group, and I'm just also interested in transportation projects in Pennsylvania.
Thank you. And so then Leanne.
Leanne Parmenter with the City of Erie, Assistant Director of Public Works.
And then Lori.
Lori Ratter Spicer, Chief of Staff, City of Erie.
All right, and that's Patrick.
Yes, hi, Patrick Airline, Borough Manager, Northeast Borough.
Thank you. And then that's Patrick. So then I believe that's everyone online.
Okay, thank you. Public comment on agenda items. Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes from December 10th, 2025?
So moved. I'll second.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Transportation Improvement
I
Program.
skipped over the election of the new officers.
Oh, did I skip? Good. Election of the chair for the coordinating committee.
Tim May did reach out. He's unable to attend today, but he is still interested in being chairman.
So with that, I would nominate Tim May as chair. Okay. Thank you. All those in favor of electing Tim May as chair? Aye. Aye. Thank you. I'll open up nominations for vice chair.
I'll nominate Mark Welka for vice chair.
All those in favor, are there any other nominations?
You're stuck.
All those in favor? Aye. Yes. Thank you. Transportation Improvement Programs, 2025 through 2028. Administrative modifications to highway, bridge, and transit. Julia? And hopefully the mic's working. In the chat.
Hey, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Loud and clear.
Okay, good. Okay, so I just had a couple actions I wanted to cover. Since the first one you have up is the informational items, I'll start with that. So this action was to add this project to the TIP. $900,000 in 581 funds were added to the construction phase of MPMS number 123777. And this was the project called Way Station Sensors for Concrete Repair / Paving. And the funds were added in 2026. And so this is actually a companion project to MPMS number 1246, which is also for concrete pavement repairs on I-90. And the source of funding was the interstate contingency line item. And so the next action I wanted to talk about is administrative action number 1. And so this was to add Act 13 and local funds to the project on both the PE and construction phases. And so $24,500 in Act 13 funds and $10,500 in local funds were added to the PE phase. And then $225,500 in Act 13 funds and $144,500 in local funds were added to the construction phase. And so this was all in federal fiscal year 2026 to MPMS number 123837, which is the West 4th Street Bridge replacement. Those are just the two that I wanted to highlight, but if anyone has any questions, let me know. But if not, that's it.
Thank you, Julia. Are there any questions for Julia? Okay, 2027 through 2030 draft TIP roadway and bridges. Courtney?
We have all of the projects attached to the 2027 draft TIP, and it's going through everything in central office for their review before we can go to public comment. And so if nobody has any questions, we are good to keep moving forward with that. And Sarah's going to talk about a vote we need for the 25 TIP.
Yes, we have 4 bridges that we're going to be adding PE on this current TIP so we can get started. The first one is going to be SR 2003 Main Street over French Creek. We're adding 250,000 PE. And it's for a bridge restoration, and it's going to be letting around 2029. The next one is SR 4007 over Walnut Creek, 250,000 also for PE. Bridge replacement, it's going to let around 2930. Sorry, 2029, 2023. 2030. And SR 3015, bridge over I-90. It's out there for 400,000 for PE currently. And it's for a bridge restoration as well, and letting an estimated of 2030. The last bridge I have, it is for SR 2022 over Baskin Run, and it has 200,000 for PE. It is, it's a brand new project that we'll be adding to the tip. There is a posted one truck limit on it as of right now. For a bridge replacement, we're hoping around 2030 as well for a letting. And these funds are coming from the line item that we had additional funds on. So we're moving them forward somewhere on the 27 tip. So we're moving them forward. And the last vote that we will do is for a safety improvement. It's for the Erie County Interstate Ramp I'm stuttering over that word, but anyways, it's for signage and overhead sign warnings, some lighting, and then some line painting. We're adding the HSIP from the line item, and we have PE at 20,000, and we have construction costs at 261,000 for this project. And that will be going this fall. Correct?
Yeah, and it's for,
Systemic is what I was trying to say.
Say it again.
86 and 90, where 86 goes on to 90. We were having issues with trucks going off the one side. So we're hoping to do some safety improvements there. Additional safety improvements.
Questions? Okay,
Two separate votes, just, so one for to add the bridges to the top FC chart, and then one to add the safety project.
okay. Do I have a motion to add the safety project?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, and do I have a motion to,
Add the 4 bridges.
Should we vote on the first?
4 bridges.
oh, yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, and then the bridges, State Route 2023, State Route 4007, 3015, and 2022. Do I have a motion to approve those bridges?
I'll make that motion. I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you very much. Subcommittees, $5 local use fee. Matt?
Right, so I have 2 items up for vote today. I'll go over them real quick and then we can vote on. The first one is for Himrod Bridge. This is a net increase of $55,622. This is a result of 2 change orders that occurred during the construction. The first change order was to remove an existing buried structure that they found during construction. It was unknown and unforeseen. That was for $5,676. And then the second change order was for changes to the foundation. It required additional piling depth. And then this was kind of a give and take, but the net increase for this one was $49,944 and some change for the total of $55,622. The second item is the assignment of construction funds for the donation road bridge for $568,236. This was actually $200,000 less than the original estimate, so it helps with our cash flow. We're now back in the black in the upcoming years. And beyond that, just a quick update, our next meeting will be on April 15th at County Planning at 10 a.m. Anyone's welcome to join us in person or the stream. So that's all I have for today. Thank you.
Thanks, Matt.
Oh, and by the way, this was discussed at the TAC and the TAC recommended approval of both of these, cost increases as well. Sorry.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the Himrod Bridge increase for $55,622?
I'll make that one.
Do I have a second?
Sorry.
Any questions? All those in favor? Aye. Do I have a motion to approve the donation, road bridge construction funds? $568,236.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second that.
Do you know when that one was slated to go? Donation route?
Starting April 6th for the post.
There you go.
Okay, thanks, John. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Multimodal subcommittee. Bike share study consultation selection.
So I'll be going over that. For those who are unable to attend the February TAC meeting, the MPO Multimodal Subcommittee has selected a consultant for the Erie County Bike Share / Micromobility Feasibility Study. The committee has decided to select Clear Results Energetics for the amount of $55,000. $50,000 will be covered by the PA Downtown Center Walksource grant that we received, and the remaining funds will be covered by Greenways funding. The county has entered a contract with Clear Results Energetics and have begun the study process. I believe Emerson's on the line if you would like anything more to add to that.
Yes, so we selected the consultant to look over this study. It should be completed at the end of June. Our next multimodal committee meeting is scheduled for May, but we might have an intermediary meeting to talk with stakeholders and touch base with the consultant. Our kickoff call with Clear Result is on Friday, and so we should be sending out an update to all of the subcommittee members soon.
Thanks, Emerson. Are there any questions? Okay. National Highway System Review Discussion, agency updates, PennDOT District 1.
Oh, you're gonna go back to the National Highway System.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So in the packet is an email I received from PennDOT Central, kind of explaining what it is. But to provide clarification before I give more details, today we're just doing an open discussion for MPOs and municipalities to ask questions. We're not voting on this today. Once our office has a chance to meet with all the affected municipalities, we will then compile a review and then present it to the MPO for a vote. PennDOT Central has informed us that they plan to have it approved by the FHWA by 2030, so we have plenty of time to review, just to clarify. So then for context, our office received the email notice from PennDOT Central that PennDOT is conducting an internal review of the statewide national highway system. This review includes providing comments to the Erie MPO regarding changes PennDOT is considering for the NHS, which aims to create an interconnected system of principal routes serving major population centers, intermodal facilities, and meeting national defense requirements, as well as supporting interstate and interregional travel. PennDOT is asking the Erie MPO to provide valid justifications as to why the routes in the record should stay on the NHS. If a valid justification is provided that is mutually agreed upon by the MPO and PennDOT, then the route can stay on the highway system. The proposed segments to be removed will still be on the federal aid system, but not on the NHS. So meaning they will no longer be eligible for National Highway Performance Program funding. However, they will still be eligible for other federal funds. The proposed segments are on here, as well as the informational packet. And then in the informational packet is an explanation of which route is selected to be removed and why they consider that route to be removed. And in summary, the affected municipalities include the city of Corey, city of Erie, Harbor Creek Township, Wesleyville Borough, Summit Township, Mill Creek Township, and then Lawrence Park Township. I've had the chance to meet with some of the municipalities to discuss any questions. Unfortunately, due to going on bereavement leave last month, I have not gotten a chance to meet with all of them. So after today, our office, and any questions we come up with, our office plans to set up additional meetings with municipalities later this month. And so then meeting with Mill Creek and Summit, they did have some questions which PennDOT gave answers to here. First question was there a study done to determine the removal of these routes? If so, can we obtain a copy of the study? No study was completed. Of the 34.64 miles divided to the agency, 29.179 are related to automatically being added in 2012 with no justification because federal highways have made the decision to add any other principal routes to the NHS. When states pushed back, the federal highway suggested states analyze their system, so we're just looking for valid justifications to have records on the system. And then, would these routes still be maintained by PennDOT or would they become local roads? These roads would not become local roads nor change who maintains them, but would be removed from the national highway system if no valid justification can be provided. Third question was what funding for these segments will be lost moving forward? These segments will include NHPP funding. That is the only funding eligible for routes on the national highway system. Fourth question, are there any of these segments scheduled for projects on the tip? If so, what scope changes can be expected? And then on the sheet in the packet, it has little future funding and everything. Those include tip projects. And then question 5, if the segments are to still be maintained by PennDOT, how do they propose funding any necessary repairs or improvements on these routes? They said funding doesn't go away, but comes from a different area. These routes that would be losing the NHS designation would use funding types like STP, 581, 185, etc. This question was, would the maintenance or improvement schedules be changed based on their removal? PennDOT said the maintenance and improvement schedule incorporates the business plan network, which has 4 categories. One of those is non-interstate NHS routes. Any records that would be removed from the NHS would drop to another tier. How that relates to maintenance or improvement schedules would be determined by PennDOT Engineering District. Maintenance and improvement schedules are not a valid reason to keep a record on the NHS. And the last question, does PennDOT propose placing an additional burden on municipalities for repair and maintenance improvement of these routes? The purpose of it, and then they said this is not the purpose of potentially moving records from the NHS. A goal is to get a clean, accurate network that represents the national highway system. So essentially, the routes that you're looking to remove from the national highway system are majority of 26th Street, State Street, all of Peach Street, Interchange Road, and then 38, along with, I believe it's Old French Road, Station Road, and then parts of Peninsula Drive here. And then in Quarry, this route. So
Maybe before questions, I can,
so yeah, if you want to find any more clarification and everything, yeah, go ahead.
I don't know if I'll simplify it or if I'll make it more complicated, so, ask away after I explain it, but basically the way the network is created is, in simplest terms, we put it into 4 areas if it's state maintained. Basically, it's interstate, non-interstate, NHS routes, and then, roads that have a greater than 2,000 ADT and roads that have a less than 2,000 ADT, right? So the roads that they are looking at right now are that second category, which are non-interstate, but are considered national highway system. Back in 2012, when FHWA decided that they were gonna change things, each of those categories have subcategories that are important to us, but not necessarily important to everybody else. And other principal arterial was the one that they decided anything that was classified as that, they were going to keep as a 2 or an NHS route. But we had to, as a state, look at that and determine if we really should be keeping it as a principal arterial, as an NHS road, or should it be lowered into that next category, which is just all others that are greater than 2,000 ADT. And so a part of the Center for Program Development and Central Office has been tasked with looking at that. They sent that information then to the planning partners for everybody to look at. And we kind of are coming into it a little bit later, because they were looking at it and then questions came up that kind of applied to the district office. So we got pulled in. What we can tell you is that basically when the funding comes to the planning partner, it goes through formula for each of the types. What we as the Erie MPO will lose by losing these few miles is some NHPP funding. However, those roads that aren't going to be held to that higher level, they're going to be put more in with the general category of greater than 2,000 and won't have quite the same TAMP goals and other goals that we have to follow for other NHS roads. They're still state maintained, they're still state owned. They will continue to follow the maintenance schedules that the county does. None of that is going to change. They're still gonna follow our betterment and our resurfacing schedules. That is not going to change. Truly, the only thing that changes from our perspective is what type of funding we can use for it. When we asked if we had a project scheduled on the 25 or 27 tip, that was using NHPP for that, the big one right now being the quarry project, which is using NHPP funding and will not qualify for it. They have told us that it will take long enough for us to do it. One, because the type will either still be able to use the NHPP funding that is on there, or they will help us with STP funding to replace that NHPP funding for those roads that are perfect. So it's not a lot of mileage. It's not really, we're not going to see a big change, and we should see STP potentially going up in 581 to offset that NHPP money that we're getting. So I don't know if I simplified that or is that more. But if you have any questions, let me know.
Matt, do you have any
Yeah,
questions?
no, I mean, I think, obviously, I think, for us individually, we were concerned, obviously, about them still being state maintained and not falling on
Yes.
local, just on behalf of our constituents. And then second, on the MPO level, like, are we losing money that, on projects? And it sounds like Corey is the one that's mostly affected for current
Yes.
projects that are counting on it. Just in the future, it would be one less funding source for that. But, in the district's opinion, is this a huge issue? Or are you greatly concerned about it, or is it just something?
No,
we'll
most
have
of them make sense. In the area, it would be difficult to justify them staying as a national highway system. However, I do think that something we should look at moving forward is, do we have any other roads that maybe should be considered national highway system that are not? Like, do we have an alternate road in case the interstate shut down that is a full NHS road that would qualify for that funding? Like, what are those criteria and how does that look? So I don't think that would be a bad thing moving forward, but the ones that they're suggesting moving down, probably current travel, it doesn't justify being a national highway system road. It will not, like I said, it will not change who's the ownership. The only roads that are federal aid that are locally owned are those local federal aid routes. None of these would be moving to that category, which would be moving it from state maintained to local maintained.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm curious, in terms of Lawrence Park there, but I guess that would be the section of Route 5, that tiny little segment over there. So what's the deal there? Is the rest of Route 5 currently designated and would maintain designated, or is the rest of the route not, and just that one little section was?
So if I remember correctly from looking, the rest of the road is not. The reason at one point in time that was National Highway System is because of the industry that was there. And now that's gone and it would be the same as the rest of Route 5.
Okay. And is that the same deal with Route 20, that beyond east and west, it's not?
Yes, and the Bayfront is 79, 90 and the Bayfront are all National Highway System. So that's considered to be the main way around. And so they're removing some of the small sections that were National Highway System within the city.
The way I look at it, just to help everybody too, is like roadways of national significance. And really, out of all the ones through here, I mean, Route 20 is a US route that goes, through a couple different states. Maybe we make a case to say, keep that one, but all the other ones, to me, as far as like a national significance, don't make probably a lot of sense. But at one time, for whatever reasons, industry and things, they were, it just gave us another funding pot to grab money from. But now they're trying to correct a lot of the things in the past and as everyone's mentioned here. So, I think it's a pretty solid plan and trying to get back to capturing the funding on the roads that are of national significance and need it, as opposed to a piece here and a piece there. So.
This is Chris Broder at the county. I had a similar question. When I look at this map, I do wonder why Route 20 and Route 5. To me, it seems like those maybe should maintain eligibility for that pot of funding, especially when you're carving out just the city. And I understand the Bayfront connector may be looked at as a necessary detour when the interstates are shut down, but the redesign of the Bayfront is meant to take traffic off of the Bayfront. That was the whole justification, is that we were going to calm traffic and push that traffic onto Route 5 and in some cases Route 20. That's what we kept saying. And so why would we take Route 20 out of this equation?
Again, as Tom said, part of the problem is it needs to be national significance, not regional significance. So it needs to be something that is getting traffic from through the state. And so they're more concerned about the interstates. Those are the interstates are the majority of our NHS roads because they're natural significance. People are driving through the state on those. So there are some.
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, I agree with that, except when we have a blizzard that shuts down I-90, or we have, in this region, it does happen. And that's my only question is, there are times when 5 and 20 are used as vital secondary routes because of snowstorms or because of pileups or some other issue. And of course, 90 is a main artery. There have been plenty of times where Route 20 and Route 5 have handled a lot of temporary traffic. And they're federal roads to begin with. So that's my question. I mean, I'm not saying I think the rest of it makes sense, but that's all. That's my comment on that. It seems strange to carve out just in the city. So
I will say it's a double-edged sword from the planning side of things. So the roads that we leave as NHS roads, they're the only ones that can use that pot of money. So let's just say we don't have anything that needs to be done on that road. I'm not saying that there isn't. There are things that we can do, but that's the only place that money can be used. It's not like it's bringing more money into the area that can be used universally across the entire area. It can only be used for certain things on that road. And so it does make it sometimes a little bit more difficult to have it line up, because if we have a project and we only have so much of that money, you have to find other money to tie in with it, and it can't go to other places. It's tied to those specific locations that are NHS. So it's nice to have the money, but sometimes it's a little bit difficult to find places that will just use that small percentage of the money. Kind of like safety and other things like that we run into. So, but I do definitely think we need to look at it from a perspective of what should we do about 20 or 5, and should we try to make a case that says that one of those should be NHS. I agree with that completely.
Any other questions? Okay. Agency updates, PennDOT District 1.
Yeah, I'm gonna give them today. We got a little PowerPoint presentation to go through. I kind of do this with this group once a year in the spring here, just to tell you about our program for 2026. So we're pulling it up right now, and I'm passing me the mouse. So I'm gonna be in control.
So that was another time.
Might be, see how this works. So again, good morning again, everybody. And so far in 2026, we've bid 17 projects to date in the entire Northwest Pennsylvania district, which is Crawford, Erie, Forest, Mercer, Venango, and Warren counties. And we have 86 locations remaining here with 150 to 175 million investment. So it's the biggest program I've been involved with in my career. And there are some big interstate projects that are pushing that total. As far as, again, Erie County, this is just broken down again into paving projects, bridge projects, the local projects, safety and district wide. So the totals are in the district and the numbers in parentheses are what you see for Erie County. So we have 15 bridge and protect projects, and I'll explain the protect projects when we get into them. And then we have 4 local projects, 4 safety projects, and 5 paving. And these will all be let, which just means the contractor will be placing a bid on them this year. If something lets, let's say after October, September, that work will be done in the 2027 construction season. So I'll get into this, go through these. These are all gonna be similar nature. You're gonna see a map or a picture on the right-hand side. You're gonna have a description of the project, if it was let, who the low bidder was, and when the notice to proceed is when the contractor would be out on site starting to do that physical work. So the first one here is a paving project from the Edinburgh interchange on I-79 the whole way up to basically the Hershey Road overpass on 79. It includes the ramps at I-90 and 79. $36 million. Lindy Paving was the apparent low bidder. High friction surface treatment. This is used to, help keep vehicles on the road through some curves. 832, the curves just south of I-90. Again, Lindy Paving won this bid here at the end of February, and they'll start this one in the spring. Bikeway, French Street, from downtown the whole way out to 36 or 38th Street, as it stated here. Krylon Corp got that. That's signing and bike striping of, in accordance with the city of Erie's bike plan. So again, a bike ped plan. We're not just looking at vehicles, we're looking at all sorts of different projects throughout the region. Paving around Albion. This is on Route 6, 3013. Again, Joseph McCormick got this bid. They'll be starting here in April. So this is kind of takes care of the west side and the north side of Albion. And then we also have a companion project that takes out on 3006 on the other side of Albion. So Albion's getting a lot of work, this construction season. Another paving project, Melhorn Road to Gorman Drive on Route 5. I believe it's everything except skipping over the Mill Fair Roundabout, which was recently done here in the past few years. It's probably 5 or 10 years ago now, but it seems like yesterday to me. But a lot of paving through there. We'll be opening bids here in April. This was mentioned in the tip modifications today. This is weigh and motion sensors. We work with the state police to update their truck weighing equipment coming into the northeast rest area, and also some concrete patching. We'll open bids in May. Route 20 project includes some signalization work, 5 miles of repaving from 26th Street and Broad in the city of Erie out toward Leslieville and Harbor Creek. Again, estimated $5 to $7.5 million. This signal work here. Notice to proceed will be in July. So this is one of the ones the paving might get done this year, but some of the signal work might spill over into 2027. This is our digital delivery project. A normal delivery for PennDOT is a set of plans, but this is actually a 3-dimensional model of the bridge. It's one of each district is doing a couple of these a year, and by 2030, I think we'll be doing 5 digital projects in each district. That's kind of a neat thing. The contracting communities getting used to working with the digital model. looking at the rebars, looking, it's kind of neat to look at a 3D model of the bridge, and it's a time saver for sure, and it helps a lot in the design too. So we have some pretty sharp people in our office that are working on it. I myself prefer the paper plan and that kind of stuff, showing my age a little bit, but it's kind of nice. We have a lot of CAD gurus that can really get in there and dig these models out, and they are helpful, especially when you go to public involvement, be able to show what that bridge will look like. So that's another benefit of it as well. Bridge replacement, Dunn Valley Road in McKean Township. That will start here in June. I imagine it could get done this year, but maybe push into 2027. Port Access Road, I know we're still working with the city on this, trying to get a project in this area. This let date might change, but I know there's a lot of concrete patching work and things that need done. So we'll be talking about this one a little bit more over the next couple of months. But we recognize there's a need down there on Port Access. So this is the Protect group. So under the Biden administration, there was Protect funding that came available. In our district, work hard to capture it. We have 27 or 28 bridges throughout Northwest Pennsylvania that we are doing some work to. It could be sediment removal. It could be paving a stream bed. It could be dumping some rock to protect the abutments. So, like I said, we captured hopefully a bunch of money here that we're able to fix some of these bridges that really, there isn't really anything too wrong with the bridge structure itself, but it helps with the future maintenance and keeps it off our books. Cause all these bridges we hope to get 100 years out of. So these next 7 or 8 slides, I'm going to be going through and show you some of these bridges. And the nice thing is the contractor is going to have 2 to 3 years to do this work too. I mean, some of them might only take, a week or so. To dump some rock. Other ones have the stream bed paving. They have to work around fishing season and some of our environmental restrictions. So just all these are a little bit different scope. Route 20 over 6 Mile Creek, stream bed paving, rock protection. This is out in Harbor Creek. Another one out in Harbor Creek, Route 430 over 4 Mile Creek.
If I could
Yeah.
ask on this one, I thought I had received something in the mail about this, and then I provided comments back to the project manager, and I can't remember the name right now.
Okay.
Not.
Yeah.
But then he emailed me back and said this one was actually pulled back from the group this year or something. That this is no longer included.
Okay.
Like the one that we just got.
We just got, about one of them.
Oh, okay. Okay, so maybe this one did get pulled then. Okay.
Just wasn't sure.
Route 20 over Walnut Creek and Fairview. Another Route 20, this one's in Northeast Township. So this one's a little hard to see, it's a little blue dot on Route 20 there. We got 2 bridges out near the zoo on 505. This is bridge number 2 over Mill Creek. And then this is bridge number 1 over Mill Creek, right real close together there. Route 5 over Crooked Creek in Springfield Township. Another one out 426 in Northeast. And there's another one this one's out in Harbor Creek, and Harbor Creek's getting a lot of these little bridges. This one's stream bed paving and rock protection over Trout Run. And there's a second one there. This one might have the wrong. This one says Route 20 Lake City Borough. Elk Creek in McKean Borough, scour protection again. So a lot of little bridge work here. That kind of concludes the scour protection projects. Like I said, minimal work, and they have a couple years to do it, but like we're happy we're able to capture the funding for that. Getting back into some of the bigger bridges, this is probably the biggest project that we're sending out to bid this year in June. It's our Conrail bridges. We affectionately call it that, on I-79. This is the only piece of poor interstate in our district, and if you've driven over it, you probably agree. Pretty rough shape out there, but we're doing a rehab of the two bridges. It's a lot, working with the railroads and their delivery schedules, and those are constant high-speed lines, and then, of course, just the traffic going in and out of the city on a daily basis. So there'll be a lot of lane closures, and this one will take a little bit longer than a normal rehab. We just can't close it down and kind of let traffic fend for themselves here, being in a pretty urban area. But it's probably our biggest project for the region this year. This is an intersection project at 38th and Liberty, by the country fair. I mean, I know there's a country fair on every corner in Erie, but if you're familiar with it, that's signalized intersection, the safety improvement there that our traffic unit is doing the signal design for. Another pedestrian project, Safe Routes to School. We're working with the city of Erie on, I believe it's 15 to 20 locations for missing sidewalk and ADA curb ramps. All kind of near the city schools in Erie. So this is another one of our safety projects. Along with the paving of State Street that will connect to the Bayfront, there's also a signal project too that will install the countdown pedestrian signals. Some of those signals in downtown Erie are some of the oldest ones. If you've been down on the State Street corridor, so we're going to be modernizing it with this project here. This one's one that was ready to go about a year ago, but, we worked with the city and smartly decided to save this one until we got a little bit more of the Bayfront completed, just not to have everybody working on top of each other. Rose, I think. There we go. Okay, so that concludes the majority of our program. These next couple slides here are the district-wide program. RPMs that help maintain the lanes and help get people through curves. We have our on-demand bridge repair contract. This is a 2-year contract. We did our first one in 2025. That was successful. We actually did some patching out on I-90 over for Williams Road out in the northeast area. Noticed, it was spalled and hit by an oversized load, called the emergency repair, got people out there, fixed it. Same kind of premise here. Anything, we inspect all 2,000 of our bridges here in District 1 every 2 years at minimum. You notice things on them that need fixed. That's the priority zeros and ones that are mentioned. So we need to get a contracting mechanism to get people out there to fix the stuff if there's a dire need. And this is what this contract allows us to do. Similar, we have a guide rail contract that we do issue every 2 years. Again, we try to go back against the insurance companies of the people that actually do the damage on the guide rail, but we still need a mechanism to get out there and fix it, especially the cable guide rail on the interstate or, other heat guide rail that gets hit a lot. Highway lighting. We never have enough money in this contract to do all the highway lighting needs that we need to. But we do have a contract and we do try to repair things. A lot of the high mast lighting you see along I-90, I-79 too. We're working at fixing it as best we can with the money that we have. I mean, you can see the estimated cost there. If we tried to do all our highway lighting, I think it was in the $30 million price range. So this is just a drop in the bucket, but at least we have something to go out and address critical needs as necessary. Lastly, we have a drilling contract to help with our bridge designs, our foundations on our bridges, and also our pavement designs. We'll take cores on pavement. So again, another 2-year contract that we use to gather that information. So that is our 2026 program. Happy if anybody has any questions on anything or you think of something later on, you've got our contact information to email us. So, thanks.
I have one comment, I guess, on the one exciting project that's going on in Westerville with the help of PennDOT is actually a local federal aid route. I believe it was from 2024 for Euclid Boulevard. which is a concrete street we have, and we had to do a sewer line on it last year, but we weren't able to sync up the reconstruction afterwards. So now there's concrete with the gravel down the middle of the road, and we're very excited to get that done this year. It looks like we're on track. We're working with Christine in that department.
Yeah,
so-
we have a scoping set up here in the near future.
Yeah.
I think on that one to get that one moving as well. That was kind of thrown in here at the tail end.
At the very end, I know, I'm fingers crossed that we're, because if we don't get this done this year, my head is gonna be on a stick with those residents, because they're freaking out about the fact, they're like, why would you rip up, well, it was a bad road already. But they're like, then you made it worse by putting a sewer line in. So they're not happy with me, and I'm sure, I haven't driven down it in the last 2 days, but I'm sure it's terrible right now with all the water.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks to PennDOT for working with us on that.
Yeah.
Can I ask a quick question, Tom? Just not specifically about this, but something you mentioned, doing the reflective pavement markers.
Yeah.
Those district-wide. If I recall, I think from hearing these meetings before, do you guys have like a schedule, like every year you tackle something different, or is that not how you do it anymore? Did you used to do like reflectors and then guide rail and then like on a rolling schedule?
The reflectors have been done every year. I
Oh,
think,
okay.
But the other items are a 2-year contract.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And the reflectors, there's certain areas of the district that we do too. Those aren't, we replace ones that we know that are failed, but they're on a cycle. And our traffic unit keeps track of that with the cycles for that. So we have basically the same dollar amount that we're spending each year.
Yeah, just curious. Thank you.
We also have so much that we do in guide rail upgrades per year. Normally, we're able to incorporate that in projects, and so we're not necessarily doing a separate guide rail upgrade project. But then the guide rail one is for hits or for upgrades. That
We will upgrade if we don't get a ton of hits too. You know, we try to use the money to upgrade our systems.
So I-90, the eastbound lanes. We're across the South Creek Road.
Okay.
The far right lane, it drops. Boom, when you're going across it, you cross the bridge and then bow.
What mile marker is that? Is that in 10 to 18?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so yes, they're looking at that because we're looking at what we need to do. I think that's what we're looking at because I think water is also coming up through in that general vicinity. They're looking at what we can do as a temporary fix to get us to the reconstruct that is scheduled to go in a few years. So that way then it's not hanging out there. The other thing that we have going on 90 that's just going into design is we were just given the money to start the design for the bridges that go over 20. The creek that's there and both of the railroads that are all in that section of 90 out in the northeast side.
Yeah,
So
on
we
that
start-
same note, 6N underpass for the CSX track, or the
Yep.
CSX tracks.
Moving forward.
Yeah.
Yep. I think it's to go in 27.
27, okay.
Yeah, it's a 27 job. The I-90 mile marker 10 to 18 is a 2028 job right now. The only other one I read down here I didn't mention, we're also doing a study at 26th Street and I-79, that interchange, looking at different options there. We're actually having an internal meeting here in April on that one. But I imagine we'll be taking some concepts out to the public on that interchange. We want to include pedestrians there to get across Route 20. And, you know, with all those flyover lanes, I think I-79 actually stopped there when they built it, I believe, way back when. So that's why it's kind of like not a traditional diamond type interchange that you see, but the concepts I have seen are leaning toward that way. So, but we'll be sharing them with the public very soon. That's all for, I'd say, the current projects here. But happy to answer any questions anybody has.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
PennDOT Central Office, Julia?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, good. Yeah, so I just have a couple announcements and a very brief presentation. But first, I just wanted to share that, I believe I shared this with the TAC, but, can talk about it again. The 2026 PennDOT municipal outreach sessions are coming up. These sessions are an opportunity for municipal officials, planners, community leaders, anyone like that, or anyone interested in improving their local transportation systems, to network with other municipalities, PennDOT, other MPOs and RPOs, and ask questions about PennDOT projects in your area. And so there will be a demonstration on PennDOT's OneMap GIS platform, as well as some other free transportation planning resources. I'll be providing the link to an informational flyer with a bit more information, as well as the registration for the District 1 session. This session will be hybrid, taking place online as well as in Oil City in the Northwest Commission Conference Room. And the meeting will actually be on April 30th from 9 to 11 a.m. But then I also wanted to touch on, I have a little bit of an update on the NEVI community charging funding rounds. Allie, I don't know if you have the PowerPoint ready, you could just share it, but I also have it up if you want me to.
I have it up if you just want me to share the screen.
Okay, sure. Yeah. So, this is the upcoming PennDOT NEVI community charging funding rounds. You just go to the next slide. So for just a brief summary, PennDOT is investing about $100 million of the Pennsylvania NEVI funds in 4 regional community charging funding rounds. All publicly available locations in Pennsylvania are eligible to apply, and NEVI will cover up to 80% of the cost to design and install an EV charging station. You can get to the next slide. So as you can see, the state is being divided into 4 rounds, Erie being in the west. It's also divided into the central, east, and southeast regions. So the funding opportunity for Erie and the whole western section should be published in the spring, probably around April or May. And then the deadline to submit those proposals will be around the end of the year in November or December, with the awards most likely being announced about a year from now in February or March. You can go to the next slide. So any organization that's interested in being a part of this may complete the NEVI Interested Parties Directory Survey. And you could also look at any resources on pa.gov/EV community, as well as if you have any questions, the best resource is probably the resource account, which you can see up there, RA-PD EV corridors at pa.gov. To sign up for updates, or then also answer or ask any questions that you have. Yeah, that was kind of all I had, but I just wanted to share that. If there's any questions, I can try and answer them, but also feel free to reach out to the resource account.
Great, thank you. Can I
Thanks.
ask a question? Actually, two. Well, one, Allie, will you send those out?
Yeah, I can
us
send this
afterwards?
presentation out.
And then Julia, I don't know, do you know, are these level 2 chargers, level 3 chargers, both? Do you know? Or should we just ask those on the email address?
I think I can either reach out for you, or maybe if you want to, I think best to reach out to email, because I don't think I can answer that right now.
Okay, that's fine. No worries. Thanks.
Sorry. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
EMTA Transit.
Short one today. Next Friday, the 20th, we'll be having a press event at our place to
unveil our new trolley and several new CNG buses. So I think we're having 5 CNGs. That will put our fleet at about the 60% mark of CNG. So we're moving away from those diesel polluters real fast. That's all.
What's the date for that again?
The 20th?
Okay, thanks. Other business? Yes, sir.
I do have one thing real quick. Hopefully I won't prolong the meeting. After our TAC meeting, last month, a couple people talked to me because we did release the federal aid route, applications for municipalities, and just thought this might be a good time to at least raise the idea. You know, we don't have to talk about it today, but start thinking about, since we're at the beginning of a 2-year cycle, is it possible in the tip to increase those amounts? I know right now we're doing 500,000 a year, and putting them together into a 2-year package. But with costs and things rising, is it possible that we could add additional funds each year to those so that we have a little more? And just wasn't sure, you know, just that was a question that we thought might be a good time to start talking about. We can put it on as an agenda item maybe for the next TAC, but if that's something that you guys, Courtney specifically, like not gonna go, then. You know, oh, gotcha. Well, you know, I mean, like, it's not possible.
Well, so we did it at the same amount for on the draft 2027 tip. We definitely can talk about it. We are one of the only districts that look at doing something with the local federal aid routes. So there's not necessarily a precedent across the state on how they do things like that, and how that's offered or what that percentage might look like. Whatever we would look at increasing that by, it would have to be the STP funds. That's the only funding type that qualify, those roads qualify for. And it would take from any other paving project that has STP funds on it, because that's where they're sitting now. So I don't think that it's a bad thing to talk about what that looks like and how we apply it. What that future looks like, you know, I wouldn't know either, but.
Yeah, you know, just with costs rising, there's a lot of times where one project will eat up all the funding,
Yeah.
and we could maybe get a couple
Yep.
that resolve
Yep.
stuff. Okay, thank you. I'll talk to Ellie and we can maybe put it on a future agenda.
Thank you.
Yeah.
One item. 2, if we could go back just for a moment to the National Highway System Review, do you need any further things from the MPO as far as the discussion that was had here today, the discussion here enough to carry some items forward for that on your end, or do you need more?
No, we'll work with Ally with anything that we might need, but at this point in time, we'll just look to see what the lengths are of 5 and 20 and talk to central office about what we might need to be able to do to prove between the MPO and us. And we'll be prepared for the next court meeting and TAC meeting to talk about that a little bit more.
Thank you.
Okay, hearing from the public. Okay, if not, do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting? Next meeting would be the TAC on April 29th at the EMTA facility.
I move to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you all. Have you been gossiping all lately?
Have you seen her?
Did you?
Yeah. You went to Jamaica.
Oh, did he?